Hello, Rachel Portman. We are very glad to meet you today. Thank you. You are a film music composer. You've worked with Lars Hallström, Roman Polanski, Robert Redford, Mike Leigh, and of course you won the Academy Award for the Best Score. But I thought that maybe we could talk about other things. Maybe you would be bored to talk of this Academy Award that you won as a woman.
Yes.
So I decided to focus on how you work. So just how do you compose music? How is your day as a composer?
Oh, that's really nice. That's a really great question. Well, I'm very low tech. That I don't have a lot of keyboards and electronic equipment at all of any kind. So I have a piano. I have a beautiful Bosendorfer, and I write on the piano, and I write on manuscript paper by hand and pencil. And I have a big screen next to me to my right, so I'm writing here, but I'm looking at the film that I can that I can obviously operate through Pro Tools, and I make piano recordings throughout the day as I'm writing. So that's really my process. Is very, very simple.
Writing by hand.
Writing by hand, yes. Yeah. I mean, apart from anything else, it's not the physical writing. It's the thought that goes into it. So that for me, it's important that the music comes out of my head rather than out of a machine.
And do you do it by your own or with a team?
I do. Well, I write on my own. It would be very hard for me to have somebody sitting in the room as well. You know, people often say to me, can I come and be your intern for a bit? Can I come and sort of shadow you for a bit? And I just say I can't. I'd love to help, but I can't, because I have to be away from everybody and everything. So I'm just in this world with me and the film. And then I have to really sort of begin to understand it. And I spend a lot of time watching the film, a lot of time just being with it until at a certain point I feel like I step into the film, and then I can write the music.
Okay.
But I stand on the outside for a bit.
Okay.
So that's very much part of my process of writing.
And so is it intellectual or also something intuitive with the heart?
It's intuitive. It's intuitive. I would say mostly intuitive, and there's also a lot of trying to understand what it is that the director wants and what they're trying to do. So there's a lot of psychology involved in it too, actually, with with trying to understand all the different elements and put them into a pot together, and then think, this is what the music should be. And yeah, it's a mixture. But I think writing is all about. I think if you're too much in your head, it doesn't happen. Well, it's sort of like it's too taken from somewhere else, or if you're too influenced by other things, if you've put too much thought into it, it's less creative. Well, for me, and it's when I stop thinking that music just happens.
Nice.
So it is intuitive.
Okay. And has this evolved over the years, your way to approach the film?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I think now I'm better at reading people than I used to be, because that's a big part of it. Sometimes you have to please many different people, and decide not to go down some routes or whatever. And I think I've obviously got much more experience as over the years, and so yeah.
For example, with this movie Chocolat that
yes,
we saw yesterday in the Pagnol.
Yes. How
did you work?
Well, that was that I had very little time on that film, on Chocolat. I just had to write and write and write, and I remember there's a scene in there with the fire, which is the Jeopardy scene. I don't know if you remember it, but it's sort of like, and there has to be different music in that from any other part of the film. I remember we did a lot of back and forth about that, about where the action would happen and stuff like that. Whereas we hardly talked about the chocolate eating or the confession. All those bits of music just we're like, yeah, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Everything that I suggested was like, that's fine. But when it came to the fire, we went back and forth a few times.
Okay. And did you have some inspiration, some movies that made you know that you wanted to be a composer?
I don't know. I think I'm self-taught, so I never went to school. And
Really?
No. I mean, I went to music. I did music degree, and I studied composition, but I never went to film school or studied composition.
Yeah?
No. There really wasn't anywhere when I started. It's totally different now. I mean, there was no kind of school where you could go and study film music, and so I found my way in via as a student of composition. I was at Oxford. I started doing music for plays at university, and some students made a film, and it was a feature film, and they raised the money through everyone's parents gave like £50 or whatever, so a little bit of money, and they managed to make this film, and it had, funnily enough, Hugh Grant in it. Do you know who I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Well, he was a contemporary of mine. He was there at the same time, so he was a student and he was an actor in it.
And he was not already known?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
We were all there together, and in fact, several people who were in that film, and producer, director, we all have gone on to have careers, in America, and so we all worked on this film together. And as soon as I worked on that film, I thought, I want to do this. I don't want to do theatre, I want to do film. Film is much more exciting. That's what I thought, and you have much greater freedom and flexibility to have more self-expression and longer music, bigger music.
Nice, it's a
good.
Nice story.
It's good.
Maybe if you have just to finish a nice anecdote also, a music that you really enjoy.
Oh, a nice
composing.
anecdote. That's hard. Music that I really enjoy. I don't know if I can think of an anecdote off the top of my head. I'm really sorry. I just say to anyone getting into film, it's well, I can only talk really about being a composer for film, but it took a long time for me to become established. And when I was 20, 21, 22, I was so desperate to be a film composer, and I was doing a little bit here and there, but and I wanted to run before I could walk. And the best advice someone said to me was, you need to put roots down. You need to do lots of small projects. And so instead of thinking, I just want to do big films now, so I spent my 20s learning my craft, which is what I had to do. And so I worked on smaller projects, radio, television, drama, with small orchestras. And then it gradually got bigger and bigger. And it's good to do that. And also, if you're really determined, and which I was, to never give up, I think that's really important too, because it's hard. It's a hard industry, and you have to be tough, I think. So, but thank you for talking to me. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very inspiring.
Okay.
Because you say it's tough, but you say it with a smile.
I love it. Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you,
Good.
Rachel
Pleasure.
Portman.
Thank you. Thank you for having
so
me.
much.
Okay.